Okay, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Wassalatu wassalamu ala al-mab'uth rahmatil lil alamin nabiyina wa habibina Muhammadin sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallim, amma ba'd. So today, inshallah, I will continue from where I stopped, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. And I guess we talk about Sharikat al-Amlak. So today it's with the Sharikat al-Uqud. I hope I'm right in this, inshallah. So Sharikat al-Uqud has so many types. One of the types of Sharikat al-Uqud is Sharikat al-Abdan. Sharikat al-Uqud is the contractual partnership. Sharika means partnership. So this is what you have in the companies and people when they invest their wealth. This is what they are, all doing. And whatever principle you're looking for, you shall get it here concerning that matter. Because sharikat either based on ijara or based on partnership, you participate, he participates, you contribute, he contributes, and then you share the gain and you share the loss, as the Prophet, as the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, "Al-kharaj bil-daman wal-ghunmu bil-ghurm." Al-kharaj bil-daman wal-ghunmu bil-ghurmi. Liability justifies gain, and also because of the gain, you are supposed to be getting, or you are getting when there is a gain, and also when there is a loss, you should also be participating in that loss. So Sharikat al-Uqud is different from Amlak. Amlak is based on partnership in ownership, but everyone is separated, acting on his behalf, not behalf of his partner. So you are not an agent to your partner, and he's not an agent. When you do something, you're only doing it on your own, and when there is a loss, it is only affecting your share. It's not affecting the share of your partner. You get it? Unless if later they decided to convert it into a partnership of Uqud, then this will be something else, inshallah. So we have the Sharikat al-Uqud, and there are four types for the Sharikat al-Uqud, four main types for the Sharikat al-Uqud. You have Sharikatu al-Amwal, and which has two subtitles, two babies. One is Sharikatu al-Mufada, and the second one is Sharikatu al-Inan. And you have Sharikatu al-Abdan, and you have Sharikatu al-Wujuh, al-Abdan wal-Wujuh. These are the types of the partnership we have. So you have Sharikatu al-Mufada, and you have Sharikatu al-Abdan, and you have Sharikatu al-Inan, and you have Sharikatu al-Wujuh. So we will go through each and every one of them, inshallah, one after the other, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Next slide. Okay, the first one is Sharikatu al-Abdan. Sharikatu al-Abdan, there is a hadith or a story of a couple of companions, three of them, they agreed during the battle of Badr that whatever they have in this battle, they should be sharing it. Whatever they have in this battle, they should be sharing it. So Sharikat al-Abdan means 2, 3, 4, 5 people cooperating. They don't have any capital, physical money with them, but they have skills. So they are using the skills, to cooperate with each other to generate an income. To invest their skills, to generate income. So that's Sharikatu al-Abdan. Al-Badan, body. So you are using your body. In other words, you're using the skills that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala granted you to make a gain. You get an idea. So whatever they have, they share with each other. For instance, those examples that I have mentioned, shoemakers, and tailors, barbers, lawyers, physicians, and dentists, doctors, whoever, they come and cooperate with each other to have a base where they invest their skills. They don't have any money, to be invested as a capital, but they use their skills. Get it? according to the best opinion, this is halal. Although the story is not that authentic, but it is halal looking at the general principle of Sharia. Get it? There is nothing in the Sharia of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to prevent it. Some says shouldn't be halal because you cannot quantify the effort each and every one of them is going to give. And as such, we don't know the amount of the capital contribution. You know, how much he contributed of the effort. I cannot evaluate that. You know, so they said we don't allow it because of this gharar. Somebody might be doing the work more than the other one. But it has been culturally practiced, and people know how to quantify it by the culture of practice and by the norms. So if this is the case, then there shouldn't be any problem in that. In the time of the Prophet ﷺ, as I said, although the story is not that authentic, 3 companions agreed to do that during the Battle of Badr, and they said to themselves that any whatever we get in this battle, we should put it all together and share amongst ourselves. So one of them got something, and the other one did not get, you know, and they share it according to the agreement. This story is not authentic according to the criticism of the scholars of hadith. Judgment of the scholars of hadith is not authentic. But as I said, the general principle of Sharia allows it, inshallah. Next. The next sharika is sharikatul wujub. Al-wajh is a face, literally. Al-wajh means face. Okay, wajh means face. But culturally, the word wajh is used to address reputation, you know, trustworthiness, you know, a good relationship with others. That's al-wajh. That's al-wajh. So this credit worthiness, does it have any value? You know, can we evaluate it? Yeah, we can evaluate it. It does have a value. But we're not talking about the literal meaning here. I'm just trying to let you understand that wajh means this. Wujuh is the plural of al-wajh. But what does it mean? Partnership in wajh. We share our faces, you put your face in his face. Or it has another meaning. Yes, it does. It does. They said this is when you have 2 persons, you know, 2 or whatever amount you have. They become partners by agreeing to purchase goods jointly upon their personal credit without immediately paying the price to sell them on their joint account. I have what do you call? I don't have money, but I know people. You know, I don't have money, but I know people. So since I don't have money, but I know people, and I want to cooperate with somebody because the people that I know in the market, they're not that much. So I go to intern, towards Norita, and then I ask her, let's cooperate and do the business. And she also knows others. So what do? We both go and take goods from others. We don't pay the money because we don't have. So I purchased something on credit, and she also purchased something on credit. So the agreement is both of us should get something using our own, respect that we have in the eyes of others in the marketplace. So we use that one, we purchase whatever we can purchase, we're going to pay them back later, you know, and then we'll come and invest these items that we borrowed. You know, we sell them, we do business in them. Whatever profit we get, we share. If there is a loss in my business, it affects hers also. So these 2 items that we got from different people, we are going to put them all together to form a partnership, me and her. So that's sharikatul wujub. You know, we don't have any capital. The capital is like we are using our reputation. You know, she uses her reputation, and I use mine to get those items. You get idea. This partnership also is one of the partnership that people used to do, and up to date people are doing this. Okay, so in this case, you can see none of these partners is contributing any capital. They purchase the commodity at the deferred price and sell them for cash, to get a profit. And then later they will go and pay the businessman according to the agreement between them. So partners will equally share the profit and loss, or based on the agreed upon ratio. Whatever they agree to do, we go with that. Next. They might share the profit 50-50, or 60-40, according to whatever they agree upon. Usually they will make it equal in terms of sharing. They share the loss and they share the profit equally. So this is Sharikatu al-Wujuh. It is also halal. This one is also a controversial issue. There are some who said, no, it is not permissible because you cannot quantify that. This is the problem. They said, how do you know what is the value of that face that you're using? Your credit worthiness, what is that? We don't see it. We cannot evaluate it. We cannot evaluate it. And as such, it shouldn't be halal. Okay, the next type of partnership is Sharikatu al-Mufawada. Al-Mufawada, it means equality or delegation. You have two people, each and every one of them is giving the authority to the other one, to do whatever he wants in his share in the partnership. Okay, so tafwid means you authorize somebody, or you let somebody make a decision. I'm trying to bring the meaning closer to you. Tafwid. You have tafwid in al-asma wa sifat. When you learn the aqidah, there is a place where you cannot do tafwid, and there is a place you can do. You have to do tafwid. Tafwid al-kayfiyya, when it comes to the kayf, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does this one, you have to do tafwid. Tafwid means you leave it with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You don't talk about the meaning because we don't know, and there is no way for us to know. But when it comes to the meaning of the word itself, the meaning of the how, we have to leave it with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But the meaning of the word, this one we know since it is Arabic language. Allah says He is as-Samir, He has heard. We don't do tafwid here because we know what hearing means according to the language. But how does He hear? This one you have to leave it with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Get it? So I'm just trying, as I said, to give you examples of, example of the meaning of tafwid, so that you will understand what it means literally. Okay? So what does the word mean technically? It says a partnership where two or more persons becomes partners in a venture or on a condition to equally contribute to the capital and management. So you have this partnership is more sensitive than the rest. You have two people or more or whatever, they agree to contribute, to become partners. The condition is they have to contribute equally in the capital and also the management. They have to contribute in the capital and also the management. So they equally contributed in the capital and they equally contributed in the management. I guess it is very clear. So like I said, me and Asmarita, I contribute 50%, and she also contributed 50% of the business. And the management, we do it simultaneously. She manage and manage. We have the same capacity in management. This type of partnership is called Sharikatu al-Mufawada. I give her an absolute authorization to do whatever she believes is okay. And she also gave me the same thing, to manage the business doing whatever I believe to be fine. Okay, so in this partnership, all parties are equally, also equally share the profit and losses. So they will be sharing the profit and they will be sharing the losses like the previous ones. All partners should be Muslim. Does anyone knows why all partners must be Muslims? The first and the second and the third one, not necessarily, but this one, all partners have to be Muslim. Can anyone share a thought with us on why all partners here must be Muslim? Any hints? Because the rules of Sharia is applicable to avoid riba. Okay, almost. Which may not be necessarily applicable to the non-Muslims. You are right. Absolutely, but if the answer I'm looking for is not this one, but it's almost this one. Thank you, Asmarita. Why the partners have to be Muslims? Okay, nobody wants to add. Okay, let me just take from the words of Sister Norita. The partners must be Muslim. Why is that? Because you are delegating the power of authority to all. In the way a Muslim has the power to manage in the way he believes, and a kafir also has the power and authority to manage in the way he wishes. As long as we call it mufawada, that means both are having the quality and the power and the capacity to manage equally. You get it? Both of them are having this power and having this capacity to manage equally. So if this is the case and we insist to do Sharikatul al-Mufawada, then the partners must be Muslim, because if you are to set up a condition that you as a non-Muslims, you have to make sure that you are doing it in this way and that, then it will not be Sharikatul Mufawada anymore. It will not be a partnership of Mufawada anymore. So for us to make it Mufawada, the authority must be given to every one of them. All of them must be equally sharing, having the authority to manage the business. And if this is the case, we have to make sure that the partners are all Muslims, because Muslims are supposed to be adhering to the truth. You get the idea. A kafir, I cannot impose my religion on him. So if this is the case that I cannot impose my religion on him, then it should be I must be, what do you call? I must make sure that my partner is a Muslim. Okay? Nowadays, subhanallah, you have Muslims, and unfortunately, they don't use the Sharia, Muslim, but they don't use the Sharia. You might have a kafir respecting the Sharia more than the way the Muslims are respecting the Sharia. You might have a kafir respecting the Sharia more than the way. And as such, then if you want to make it the Sharikatul Mufawada, then we have to add another condition also. We must add one more condition, which is we are going to do it according to the Sharia. Not the so-called Sharia compliance, which is not applicable except in name in many instances, but we must make it according to what Sharia agrees with. And you draw the line, what the Sharia agrees with in this business that you're doing. He has to know, you have to know, and so that whoever is not willing to continue with that, then you have to take that person out. So that's Sharikatul Wujuh. Okay. Each partner is an agent as well as a guarantor for the other partner. Each partner is an agent. The partner is liable for the actions of another partner. This is what agency means. Because if I authorize him to do something, that means I'm also responsible. An undertaking by one partner binds all other partners, provided it has been made in the ordinary course of business. So whatever he undertakes, as long as it is part of the business, it is not contrary to the business, then the rest of the partners are supposed to be responsible also. That undertaking also affect them. So this sharika al-mufawada is also okay. This sharika al-mufawada is okay. Next, sharika al-inan. Sharika al-inan, this is when you have two or more people, they share, they contribute to provide the capital, and also they will be sharing the profit and loss. Equality in the capital and management or distribution of the profit is not a condition, so it's not necessary. One can contribute 50% and the other one 50% of the capital, or 70%, 30%, 60, 40. It depends on whatever they agreed upon. And the same goes to the profit sharing. They can share the same. They can share in the same way they contribute and to the capital, and also they can have a separate and different agreements. Okay? Managing the business by one partner without other is also allowed. Without others is also allowed. So one of them can manage the business, and there is no problem with that. The rest should be watching. So we can also pay him the price for the management. He manages the business and he has a salary for the management. Apart from the profit sharing, he also has a salary for the management. If he doesn't want to manage except with the salary, he deserves that, because if we are to employ somebody else, we're going to pay that person. We are going to pay that person. So if one of them agrees to manage, he deserves also a salary for that. Partners are considered agent for each other. However, partners are not guaranteed for each other. Their liabilities towards a third party is separate and not joint. That's when they do the thing not in related that much to the business. Otherwise, it should be the same as the other kind of partnership. If we say they are agent, then they have to bear the responsibility of each other. So this partnership, all the scholars agreed upon this partnership. All scholars agreed upon. So if somebody asks you which type of partnership, that all scholars almost agree is a partnership of al-inan, whereby the capital contribution, they contribute to the capital, all of them, but not in an equal amount. And the profit sharing is based on whatever they agreed upon. It's based on whatever they agreed upon. Allah grant us good. Okay, next. Okay, so these are some of the some kind of partnership are done by the banks. Okay, you have the continuous musharaka. And this is when you have the bank, Islamic bank or any other bank, and the client, they enter into a joint venture to establish and run an industrial, agricultural or a service project. So this is, you have the bank and you have the client. Both of them are doing the partnership. Okay. They call it continuous partnership because it is continuous. There is no time limit for it. There is no time limit for it. When they start, they go until the time one of them they decided to decline. I mean, to terminate his partnership. That's something else, but it is continuous. It is not like the second one that will come, which we call musharaka mutanaqisa. It's not like that one. That one is partnership that has a time limit. It ended, after certain period of time. Okay, all of the other conditions, these are things that we talk about. So they contribute in the capital, both of them, either equally or whatever they want, and they share the profit and loss. Okay, so these are the conditions. When they do it, they have to do it in the way other people are doing it, and it must be a real partnership. It must be a real partnership. And it must be a real business these guys are doing. If a person is going to open an account with the bank for saving purposes, and then the bank tells him that we are doing a business with your money, but still they are maintaining the concept of wadia, this is a loan contract. Okay? Whatever the bank is going to pay him afterwards is riba. So I save my money with the bank, and the bank tells me that this account is musharaka. But at the same time, it also has the nature of saving, whereby I am supposed to receive my money, whatever I put inside, with no deficiency whatsoever. Whether the bank encountered a loss or it doesn't, my money cannot be lost. If this condition remains, then this is not a partnership, but this is a loan contract. And if the bank is to add something on top of what I deposited, then this amount will be riba. This amount will be riba. So we have to be very careful with these terminologies. The bank will tell us that we are doing the partnership. So it has to be written in black and white, and it has to be very clear, and it has to be a real partnership. It has to be a real partnership, not just things on papers. But in reality, it is just a loan contract whereby you are receiving a certain amount of profit, which is a riba Islamically. Get it? So if they do it according to what we have studied, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, it shall be okay. Because if it is okay with everyone, why can't it be okay with the banks? The problem is the bank is mostly going to do it in their own way, in their own way. So never agree to go with the principle set up by Islam. Okay, next. Okay, all of these are certain conditions. The client may manage the business, and in return, they shall be entitled to the percentage of the profit for doing that. The bank may reserve the right to supervise the management. All of these conditions, please do go through them. They are not difficult to be understood. Both the bank and both the client and the bank may jointly manage. So this one we already talked about that. All forms of administration may be chosen. This one is obvious. Percentage of the profit is shared according to the contract. So also we know that. Okay, the loss is contributed in accordance with the respective shares. And the problem with this continuous musharaka is during inflation, asset may appreciate. Okay, this one is not necessarily that much. Okay, next slide. So that kind of partnership is what concerns us is the root, and the principle is maintained. So when they do it according to what we have studied is okay. How are they going to manage it, and who is going to be the manager? They don't want to manage all of them. They want to employ another person, a third party, to manage the business. How they share the profit, as long as they agree to share the profit in that way, and they agree also to share the loss, according to their capital contribution. This one is okay. This one is okay. The second type of partnership, this is a decreasing partnership or diminishing partnership. This is musharaka mutanaqisa. Why do they call it musharaka mutanaqisa? Because somebody at the end of this, somebody at a certain period of time during this cooperation will decide to decline to go out of the partnership, to leave the partnership. You get an idea? Usually it happens with the bank. So the bank and the customer will sign the musharaka agreements, to finance a certain investment activity, a project, or jointly purchase, or they jointly purchase a house. Each partner will contribute to the capital of the activity, with with a certain share. So the profit will be distributed between them. Okay. When the activity starts and the profit is realized, the bank, okay, this is the most important part, which makes it different from the previous one. So when they start to realize the profit, activity already started and they start to get the profit, the bank may withdraw gradually. The bank may withdraw gradually. So when the bank gets whatever they're looking for, they might start withdrawing. They join with all the conditions, but then when they gain back their money, they might start withdrawing gradually from the project. And how do they withdraw? They will sell the part of it, to the partners. You get it? They sell the part of it to the partners. So the bank contributed, let's say, 90% of the capital, and the other customer, the partner, they contributed 10%. You get it? 90, 10. So when they generate the profit, then the bank will start withdrawing by selling his capital, the shares, to the partner. So it used to be 90%. This month, the bank sell 10% to the customer or the partner. So now the partner's capital sharing is 20%, and his profit sharing also will increase. The bank's capital sharing is decreasing, and his profit sharing also is decreasing. And then we go slowly. They will keep selling slowly until the end. They sold the whole thing. By the time they sell it, most likely they already get back their money. Okay. The share of the bank in the profit shall also diminish. Okay, this one I talk about it. Next. Next slide. Okay, the type of partnership is also called, okay, this one I talk about it. So is it a must that the partner, the bank's partner, must buy the shares? No, not necessarily. He might buy it if he wants, but he cannot be forced to buy. If you want to buy, he can buy. Okay, they negotiate the price, and he buys it according to whatever they concluded with. Okay? So it should be based on the market price, based on whatever they agree upon. So, but the most important thing is, it is not obligatory upon him to buy. If he doesn't want to buy, then the bank should look for somebody else to buy the shares. So this type of musharaka also is okay. Not necessarily the bank, everyone can do it. Two people can arrange something like this. You don't want to have a long-term, engagement in an investment. You can make it in this way. Go and invest, and agree to share the profit and the loss, and then go. Later on, you can sell your shares to your partner or to somebody else, as long as the partner agree with that person to be his partner. You get an idea? The concept of shufa also is applicable here. You don't just introduce somebody and just sell the shares to him. You have to inform the partner first. He has to agree, because these are amana, and also he might not agree with the person you are introducing. You agree with that person, but he doesn't agree with him. And as such, his agreement is necessary. Okay, next slide. Okay, this is mudaraba. So we are done with what do you call the other main partnership. The last one is al-mudaraba. Mudaraba is taken from the word ad-darb. Ad-darb is to hit something. Get it? It's to hit something. Mudaraba, mulakama, mukataba, And when you have the word mudaraba, the scale, the measurement of the word, the scale of the word, the mizan of the word, suggest two people participating in something. Suggest the participation of two people in trying to gain something. Mudaraba means two people are hitting each other. Mulakama, two people are doing the wrestling, trying to wrestle each other. Mukataba, this is when the slave and the master, they sign an agreement. So murabaha, it means two people who are looking for the profit. So it has to be two. Usually there wasn't suggest the involvement of two or more people. Why do we call this business mudaraba? Since they're not beating each other, but why do you call it mudaraba? They said because the Arabs, they call traveling ad-darbu fil ard. Ad-darb means you are hitting the earth. So they call traveling ad-darbu fil ard. When you're on a journey, usually in the past they do it manually. No aeroplanes, no cars, no bicycles. So you have to walk with your feet. So when you're walking, you're hitting the you're hitting the ground. So when you hit the ground, they call it you're doing mudaraba because you're hitting the earth. You raise up your leg and hit it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used it in the Quran when he says, وَإِذَا ضَرَبْتُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ فَلَيْسَ عَلَيْكُمْ جُنَاحٌ أَن تَقْصُرُوا مِنَ الصَّلَاةِ إِنْ خِفْتُمْ أَن يَفْتِنَكُمُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا وَإِذَا ضَرَبْتُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ أي إِذَا سَافَرْتُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ. Allah says ضَرَبْتُ, but he meant السفر. Allah says ضَرَبْتُ فِي الْأَرْضِ. So the word is used also by the Quran. So what does the word mean in fiqh? It is when one of the partners provides capital, and the other provides expertise, labor, and entrepreneurial skills to conduct a particular business where both parties should share the profit. Simply, mudaraba means two people. One of them is providing the capital and the other one is doing the work. That's mudaraba. It's as simple as this. As Norita gave me a certain amount of money, I do the work. Or I give her a certain amount of money, she does the work. That's mudaraba. So she participated and contributed with her skills, and I contributed with my money. So that's mudaraba. You have a capital provider, and at the same time also you have what you call the work and the management provider, somebody who invests that capital. Get idea? And this is one of the also blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upon the Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, because we have in the community many people who have the skills, but unfortunately they lack the capital. They don't have resources, no money for them to utilize that skill. But they have the skill, they have the knowledge, but they don't have the capital. And at the same time also you have those who have the capital, but they don't have the skill. They have the money, those skills. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opened the door for both of them to cooperate. This one with his money and the other one with his skills. So they coordinate and cooperate and try to make the profit, and then they share the profit amongst themselves based on whatever they have agreed upon. And they share the loss also. Although the capital or the physical loss is on the shoulder of the capital provider, and the other one also lost because he is losing the effort he put. He's putting certain effort and he's losing that. So the loss is not only on the shoulder of what you call the capital provider. The one who does the work also is losing. The one who does the work also is losing. What does he lose? He lost his effort, because that skill and the effort he put, he can do something in it. He can do something with it. If he goes and put it in other business, he will make a profit. So both of them are losing. It's not only one party is losing; both of them are losing. Yeah, Allah grant is good. Okay, next. So this kind of mudaraba, it was practiced amongst the Arab in the pre-Islamic era. It wasn't introduced by the scholars. It wasn't introduced by the ijtihad. It was there during the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I guess this is very clear, and it's very important information also for us to know that this mudaraba has been there before even the arrival of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Get it? He himself, before he was signed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be a prophet and a messenger, he used to do the mudaraba. Everyone knows this, with whose money? Khadija radiallahu anha. He used to go for this. So it did exist, in the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Why do I say it is important? Because you have some will tell you that no, mudaraba is ijtihad. Yeah, these are the contemporary speakers and contemporary writers and they want to make everything halal. They tell you it is based on ijtihad, and if it is based on ijtihad, then you can have another ijtihad to revoke it. So that's why they will come up, they will ask the band to come up with their own mudaraba that fits and serves their interests. So we tell them, no, this is wrong. Mudaraba used to be in existence, and it does exist during the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and during the time of the companions. They know about it. There wasn't an ijtihad. This is absolutely Sharia of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam met the Arabs doing, and then the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam just emphasized on whatever he found the Arab are doing. So he accepted that one. So it becomes like something which is permissible by the text, like something which is permissible by the text. So that's the mudaraba. You get it? And also what confirms this understanding of the mudaraba is the fact that during the time of Umar radiallahu anhu, Abdullah ibn Umar, his son, and Ubaidullah. You have Abdullah, you have Ubaidullah. These are both children of Umar radiallahu anhu. They were amongst the Muslims army that went to one of the missions. So what happened was that they decided to pass through Basra. Basra is a state in Iraq, and the then governor of Basra was Abu Musa al-Ashari. So they went to say salam to him, Ubaidullah and Abdullah, the children of Abdullah, the children of Umar. Abdullah ibn Umar and Ubaidullah ibn Umar, both the children of Umar radiallahu anhu, and he was the Khalifa at that moment. So they decided to go and say salam to Abu Musa al-Ashari since they are passing through the state and they know he is there. They went and say salam to him. But unfortunately, Abu Musa al-Ashari did not have anything to give it to them as a gift. SubhanAllah. Imagine this is a governor, this is a governor of a state, but he doesn't have money to give as a gift. Doesn't have anything. SubhanAllah. And nowadays cannot be imagined, even the leader for an organization, you don't imagine him not having money. Small group of people, he has a lot. But in those days when the amana is taken into consideration, you can assume a person who is a leader of a community, not a community, the whole country, but he doesn't have money in his account. That's why Omar asked the people of Hims, I guess Hims It's also part of Iraq or Syria. I forgot where is it located. But the people of Hims, Umar asked them, what, please, I want you to write down the list of the poor people amongst you. SubhanAllah, when they wrote the list of the poor people among them, the governor of that state, who was sent by Umar, was the first person on the list. He was the poorest person in the, amongst the people living there. He has only one cloth, SubhanAllah. And they were able to make history, to make what we know, to be Islamic civilization up to date, because the heart is okay. You're not concerned about that. They're concerned about the quality of the management and the leadership, and how Islam could be preserved so that people in the later time can get it perfectly. And they succeeded in that. So back to Abu Musa al-Ash'ari. Abu Musa al-Ash'ari looked at them. He welcomed them, but he said, unfortunately, I really want to give you some gift, but I don't have anything to give. But then he says, I remember, there is something here. He says, how malu min bayt al-muslimin? He says, oh, I remember, there is a wealth here. He said, camels, I guess. He said, there is a wealth here, which is supposed to be taken to the Bayt al-Muslimin. And I'm supposed to send it to Umar radiallahu anhu. Since you're here, you guys should take it to Umar. On the way back to Medina, sell it and invest the money on the way. You're going to pass through so many cities. Do business in the money, get some profit, take the profit and give the capital to Umar radiallahu anhu. SubhanAllah. So they went back and they did the business and they did get profit. When they went back, they talked to Umar radiallahu anhu. SubhanAllah, this is another one. They talked to him. They told him what happened. When they told him what happened, Umar said, oh, wait a minute. Abu Musa Ash'ari told you this. They said, yes. He said, question. Did he give everyone in the army or he gave you alone? They said, he gave us alone. Umar said, just because you are the children of Amir al-Mu'mineen, huh? In our time, we say he's looking for connections, right? Just because you are the children of Amir al-Mu'mineen, that's why he's giving you the gift, huh? Or else, why didn't he give everyone? Why only you in particular? They kept quiet. Umar said, I don't agree with this. Take the money and put it in the Bayt al-Mal al-Muslimin. SubhanAllah, look at this leader. In our time, you might get some promotion by supporting the children of the leader. If you give them some gift or you treat them in a nice way, you might get promotion. But in the time of Umar, that person is in trouble because of this, and he doesn't agree. Although these are his children, but he doesn't agree. So why didn't he give it to anyone? Why only you? So Umar said, I don't agree. Take the wealth and put it in the Bayt al-Mal al-Muslimin. Abdullah ibn Umar and Ubaidullah, they said, no, why should we take it to the Bayt al-Mal al-Muslimin? Why? We don't understand. And they said, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen. They said, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, if this money is to be missing, who is responsible to pay it? Umar said, you are responsible. They said, if this money is to be missing, who is responsible? He said, you are responsible. They said, you see, if we are responsible to pay the loss, we shall be also part of the gain if there is gain. Umar did not make comment on this, which means he agrees with them that a profit sharing is based on you also sharing the loss. The same goes to the loss sharing is based on you sharing the profit also. So this is a concept which is firmly established. Umar did not criticize this, but he told them, no, I don't agree. I don't agree with you taking the money. It's okay, the principle, but this one, I don't agree with you taking the money. Abdullah ibn Umar, being the eldest, he kept quiet. Khas. Dad insists, I don't have any words. I don't agree with him, but no need to fight. Ubaidullah, being very young, the younger ones, they're always troublemaker in the house. So Ubaidullah ibn Umar doesn't agree. He kept on telling Umar radiallahu anhu, Ya Umar, I'm sorry, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, if we lost this money, who will pay it? He said, you. He said, that means we should be sharing the profit also as well. So Umar saying, Ubaidullah is saying, and this is in the presence of the companions, Abdurrahman bin Auf, he looked at Umar radiallahu anhu. He said, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, it looks like your children will never agree with you. You will not agree with them, and they also will not agree with you. Why can't you make it qirat? He said, why can't you make it qirat? Instead of fighting, they fight, you fight. Why can't all of you make it qirat? Qirat is another word for mudaraba. Qirat is another word for mudaraba. So he said, why can't you make it qirat? Whereby you share the profit and they also take something. Umar said, yes, I agree with that. So he asked them to take the capital and the profit, he's supposed to be getting as a share, to put all of them in the Bayt al-Mal al-Muslimin. So when Abdurrahman ibn Auf said, why can't you make it qirar? What does that mean? It means that this kind of contract is already known to them. This type of contract is already known to them. It wasn't based on ijtihad. It was based on a text, by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which is based on approval that he also does it, he himself. Get it? He approves and he does the business also he himself. So mudaraba was there, and as such, what I really suggest and I advise you is to understand what mudaraba means. Tomorrow, if somebody says they're doing mudaraba, you have to check first and see whether it is the mudaraba or not. If they bring something else and they call it mudaraba, tell them, please give it another name, but not mudaraba. Give it another name. Then we should look at that name to see whether your practice is correct or wrong, but you don't call it mudaraba because you're not doing mudaraba. So what is mudaraba? Mudaraba is to provide the capital and your partner is providing the skills. He doesn't provide anything from the capital, but you just give him, so the entrepreneurship is from his side, and you share the profit. You share the profit between you and him. This is mudaraba. So if the bank says nowadays they have an account, although I doubt if the bank even know what mudaraba means, because I have experience with one of them, and I asked them to tell me what is mudaraba, pretending that I don't know. And as I told many of you, that bank doesn't know what mudaraba means. Yeah, I have to conclude in this way because I asked them, being a partner, I should know what I'm doing. Islamically, you cannot engage in a business that you don't know. What business is that? You should know what you do. When I ask, the person says they will go and check. They don't know. It's like, how do you advise to advertise something you don't even know what is that? She says she doesn't know. I said, okay, I really want to know what am I going to do. They say, okay, wait a minute, let me get the explanation for you. They know how much I should be getting as a profit, but they don't know what am I be doing to get that profit. No. So when they went, the boss also entered there, said, we cannot explain. I was like, how do I get involved in a business that I didn't even know what is that? So I just canceled. I was just testing to see what exactly these people are talking about. It tends to be they don't know how to explain. Then I just go back to the normal account that everyone does. Why would I get involved in a business which most likely is a lie? It doesn't exist at all. So when the bank tells you they're doing the mudaraba, you should be given the detail. Who is the mudarib? It's supposed to be the bank. You are providing the capital to them and they're doing the mudaraba. And what exactly are they doing? You should know what they're doing. If there's a possibility also for you to see it, you should see it. Because what is going on with the banks, honestly speaking, is just words on papers. But in reality, it is still the loan contract between the bank and the customer. Because in that mudaraba, the profit and the loss sharing is not applicable. The bank will never agree to go in a real business because the risk is too high. We have to understand this concept. The bank will not agree to go for a real business because the risk is so high. They might lose a lot and they're not willing to handle this. So if they tell you they're doing mudaraba, they're doing murabaha, you should think wisely. You should think a lot. How is it possible for the bank to go into a real business knowing that the loss, the risk is too high? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us good. I mean, the possibility of losing is always there. It's always there. May Allah grant us good. Next slide. The slides control has left. Okay. Division of the profit. It should be done in the presence of all parties. This is obvious. Distribution of the profit takes place only after the deduction of the capital and losses. These are all obvious things. Please go through them. If there was a loss in a business, in one business and a profit in another business, then the two should be combined together and counted as one business to deduct the capital and loss. It means the mudaraba is taken in different types of businesses. So the skill or the management provider, he's doing the mudaraba in different types of businesses, not only one. But unfortunately, we have loss in one of them. Shall we just say that the loss is only on this and the other one is safe? No, we have to put both businesses together to deduct the capital, the main capital, and the losses, and then we will know how much we gain as a profit. Okay, this is what should be done. Next, the payment of zakah is on the shoulder of the capital provider. Is on the shoulder of the capital provider, because this is what exists, So the zakah is paid based on the, is on the shoulder of the capital provider, unless if there is a profit which is huge and it reaches the amount of the zakah and it stays with them for quite long, up to the end of the year, and then both of them have to pay the zakah, everyone according to his share, his share in the profit. Yes. Okay, there are two types of mudaraba. You have the restricted mudaraba and you have the unrestricted mudaraba. Restricted mudaraba and unrestricted mudaraba. Restricted mudaraba, this is when the mudarib choice about places and type of the business are restricted. You tell him, this is my money, and you go and do the mudaraba with it, but you have to always invest in car. And this car should be Honda, should be Toyota, should be Mercedes, should be Saga, should be Myvi, should be Proton, should be whatever they agree to sell. So the capital provider, if he set up a condition like, I don't want you to buy this type of things, he has to obey that condition. And he might say, okay, you just sell phones, but you cannot do it in other than KL. You cannot sell the phone in other than Putrajaya because he's looking for more profit. You cannot sell it except at the airport. So this is the first type of mudaraba. And the second type is the one that we know, no restriction. Give him the money, he invests in whatever he thinks is okay. So the Shafi'is and the Malikis, they said a restriction in the mudaraba is wrong. The next slide. They said you cannot restrict him. You have to let him have the absolute right to decide how to do the mudaraba. But the other opinion said, no, it is okay to have the mudaraba, and this is the best opinion. To have a restriction on the mudaraba. This is the best opinion. I'm providing the capital. I should think about what benefits me and my partner. So I have a right to put restriction. If he accepts, then we go. If he doesn't, then we just close that page. So the best opinion is the one that says it is okay to have restriction in the mudaraba contract. Okay, who is the mudarib? Mudarib is a trustee, not a guarantor. Mudarib is a trustee, not a guarantor, which means if there is a loss, he will not be bearing the loss unless if we are sure that this person is negligent. So when there is negligence or carelessness or deliberate waste of waste, when these are proven, then that person should be responsible. Other than that, he's a trustee. If there is a loss, we trust him. He doesn't need to pay anything. So if there is a loss, but we are not sure, we don't trust him, we are not sure, we think maybe there might be some negligence. His statement accompanied by oath, when he swears by Allah that this is what happened, is supposed to be accepted in the court. Because nobody is there to witness, and we cannot have somebody to keep following him as a witness. We can't have that. Allahu A'lam. So this is the summary about the mudaraba. Next slide. Okay, this is the summary of the mudaraba. I guess it's very, very clear. Okay. The next contract is ar-rahan. Ar-rahan, the pawn. Okay, collateral, mortgage. The next one is ar-rahan. Ar-rahan is to detain something. As the Prophet ﷺ said, "Kullu mawludin marhunun bi'aqiqatihi." He says every mawlud, every born child, baby that is born, marhunun bi'aqiqatihi. It's like he's detained for his aqiqah until it is done. That's why it is really important for a person not to delay the aqiqah unless if he doesn't have what you call money to do that. So ar-rahan means detention. So what does rahan means in business? This is detention of the property on an account of a claim, such as a debt, which may be satisfied out of the property. I went to intern and I asked her to lend me money. She doesn't want to trust. She wants to help, but she doesn't trust. Where the witnesses, no witnesses. Allah says, وَإِن كُنْتُمْ عَلَى سَفَرٍ وَلَمْ تَجِدُوا كَاتِبًا فَرِهَانٌ مَقْبُوضًا. And we don't have anyone, a lawyer, to write the contract between me and her. فَرِهَانٌ مَقْبُوضًا. Then we go for the rahan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. So she said, "You have a house?" I say, "Yes, I have one." She said, "I take the document and the paper of that house, they will be with me. In case you fail to pay me my debt, then I can take it. I can take my right from that. You have a car, you have a horse, you have a cow, So whatever she agreed to take, this is what we call ar-rahan. Okay, this is what we call ar-rahan. I guess it is very clear, right? So it's a form of security. It's a form of security. Next slide. Okay, these are the pillars of the Prophet ﷺ did that, subhanAllah. Very painful story. He took the rahan. He borrowed money. He borrowed actually food from a Jew. SubhanAllah. So I said a very painful story. Prophet has to borrow some food for his own needs, and he couldn't have money to pay that. So the Prophet ﷺ has to leave his coat. These are the shield, the shield that they wear, the armor they wear when they protect themselves from the weapons, the bullets when they comes. So he kept it with that Jew until the time he has the ability to pay them. He comes up here. They mentioned that until death, somebody had to go and pay that amount of money and bring the thing back. Salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi. So these are some of the situations where rahan is convenient. When the two parties cannot trust each other, when they cannot get somebody to write the agreement, a lawyer, when there are no witnesses available. So this is not to tell you that Rahan is only in these situations. No, they can go for Rahan even if there are witnesses. They can go for Rahan even if there is a lawyer. But just telling you what are the places where Rahan is more convenient. Okay, next. So these are the conditions of the Rahan. The pledged property should be known and well defined. Yeah, that's true. You cannot pledge that which is not known. It has to be known and also well defined. The existence of the pledged property at the time of the contract, okay, and should be capable of delivery. It has to be something that exists. Intern told me, give me the thing. And then I told her that I have an animal, and this animal has a fetus inside it. The Rahan is the marhoon is the, or the Rahan is the, what do you call, is the animal inside the womb of the mother, the fetus. Or I told her I have a camel that ran away. The thing that I give, the pledged property should be that camel which ran away. It doesn't work like this. Okay, it should be also valuable property. It should be something that has value. So that means they cannot pledge haram. He tells the partner that he will be pledging wine or a nightclub, or any haram thing. We cannot do that. It has to be halal, and it has to be something that has value also. Next slide. Okay, and the next one is the usufruct cannot be pledged. Usufruct, the usufruct, the manfa'a, the benefit, cannot be pledged, according to the Hanafis. And according to the Hanafis, they said because it is not property. The majority also accept. So all of them agree that usufruct cannot be pledged. But Hanafi says because it is not a property. Majority of the scholars said it is a property, but it comes gradually. As such, we look at it as something that doesn't exist. You remember in the previous condition, it should be in existence. Okay, so both reject the usufruct to be pledged. The conjoined properties with another property cannot be pledged separately. The crops and the land. You have crops on the land. You said the crops are the pledged property, and the land is not. You have to put them together. Both have to be pledged, the land and the crops. The pledger should have a full ownership of the pledge. You are going to pledge something, you must be the owner of the thing. You cannot take somebody else's property and pledge it. Except the father, if he is the guardian of a child, because he is going to pledge the property of a child on behalf of a child. The pledged property should be capable of coming into possession of the pledgee. And the value of the pledged property should be equal or more than the amount of the debt. This should be very obvious. Okay, I borrow 100,000 from intern, but I gave her my house, which costs only 50,000. She shouldn't accept, because if I don't pay the money, how does she get her money back? Because even if the house to be sold, she cannot get her money back because it is only 50,000. So the value of the pledged property must be equal to the debt or more than the debt. Must be equal or more than the debt. Next. Okay, this one is important. The use of the pledge, the use of the pledge by the pledgee. The pledged property, can the pledgee use it? The pledgee is the creditor. Can he use it? So the pledge is considered as a trust. It's amana in his hands. He is not supposed to use it. Okay, the house is not supposed to be used by intent. The car cannot be used by her. The motorcycle, the horse cannot be used by her. The pledge is responsible for its safety, otherwise he is liable for compensation. He has to protect it, he has to guard it, he has to secure it. The pledge is given to secure the debt. Therefore, it is not meant for investment or profitable use. So it's just a trust, amana. He has to keep it. He has the right to keep it to protect his money with me. The pledgee is not allowed to exploit or to use the pledged property, even with the permission of the pledger, except with the compensation. This is very important, The pledge is not allowed, the pledgee is not allowed to use the pledged property, even with the permission of the owner of the pledged property, except with compensation. Why is that? Because the legal maxim says any gain, any benefit you generate because of the loan you gave somebody, that benefit is riba. So when I give her my car, if I tell her you can use the car, if she uses, she's taking riba, because this is a benefit on top of the money she gave me. She can't do that. Get the idea? This is not permissible. Okay? Please do remember this. Exploitation or profitable use of the pledge is considered usury, based on that legal maxim that I have mentioned. But if it is an animal that can be used for riding or milk, the pledgee may make use of it in return for its maintenance. So you have the animals, I give her a cow or I give her a horse. And this horse, she's the one who is buying food for the horse. So that is compensation here. So she can ride the horse, she can use the horse, for her own benefit, because she is buying food for it. She's taking care of the animals. But if I'm the one who is coming to her place and take care of the animal, then she doesn't have a right to use it at all. So we can use it if we are the one who are taking care of it. The Prophet ﷺ said, الظهر يركب بنفقته إذا كان مرهونا ولبن الضر يشرب بنفقته إذا كان مرهونا. The Prophet ﷺ ولبن الضر يشرب بنفقته إذا كان مرهونا. He said, الظهر, the back of an animal, could be used, بنفقته, if you are the one who is providing the nafaqah for it. And also the laban could be drunk. You can milk the cow and drink the milk if you are the one who is providing the maintenance for it. And then go for has to be somewhere like that. And make dua. Okay, next slide. Okay, please next slide. Next. Okay, go back to the first one. Sorry. So these are the other one. There you go. Come back to next. There you go. So these are last three slides for Rahan. This one talks about the forfeiture of the pledged property. The pledge cannot be forfeited. The hadith says, لا يغلق الرهن على صاحبه. Okay, just wait, let me finish my class and then I go with you. So the Prophet ﷺ said, لا يغلق الرهن على صاحبه. What does that mean? It means you cannot stop the sahib al-rahan, the owner of the property, from using their property. You cannot stop them by selling the property. So it means when there is a loss, when the person is not able to pay the debt, I cannot just go and sell the property. In our example, intern has no right to go and sell that property she has to take my permission first. Although I have no right also to sell it, I have to take her permission, but she has no right to sell it. She has to ask me first. If I don't agree, then she takes the case to the court. The judge will force me to sell it. I have to. But she cannot just take initiative and just sell it like that. No, that would be haram. That is the meaning of the hadith. لا يغلق الرهن على صاحبه. So the court can sell it and take the money and pay her money, and then the balance, if there is any balance, should be given to the owner of the rahn. Next. So the pledged property is inherited by the heirs of the pledgee, and they have the right to keep the pledged property until the pledges settle the debts. So let's say, in my example, sorry, Zorita, let's say if she happened to go back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Jannah, inshallah. May Allah grant you long life in righteousness and all of us. So let's say that her children, do they have a right to keep it, or they have a right to take it, or they cannot have a right to keep it? They have to take it back to the owner of the rahn. They have a right to keep it. They have a right to keep it until the time the debt is paid. So if the pledger dies, if I'm to die, the contract is dissolved automatically. The contract of the pledged rahn is terminated. When I die, it is terminated. When she dies, it is not. The rahn will be transferred to the family. But if I die, the contract is gone. Why is that? Because now the debt has to be paid. The paid will become matured instantly. So whereby the heirs, before they distribute the estate, they have to take the right of intern and pass it back to her, if he's still alive. If she's not alive, then they pass it to her family members. May Allah grant is good. So do understand that if there is a loan agreement on the shoulder of somebody, when that person died, that loan becomes matured. That loan will become due right after his death. Next. Okay. I guess this is the best place to stop. Before I stop, there is one contract which is also related to what do you call this contract related to the rahn. It is called Al-Wafa. Al-Wafa, the sale of Al-Wafa. And please do remember this: Al-Wafa, the sale of Al-Wafa. Okay, Al-Wafa. I will write the Arabic term for you. Al-Wafa. Al-Wafa. This Al-Wafa is a contract whereby I want to buy. I go to Aznorita. I tell her, Aznorita, I want to buy your car. So she told me, no problem. I will sell you my car. So I gave her the money. When I gave her the money, and we both have a condition that after 1 year, after 1 year, she will return back the money to me, and then I will return back the car to her. She will return the money to me, and I will return the car to her. Do you get the idea? Do you get, is that understood? I bought a car from her, but we agree that after 1 year, she will return the money to me, and I will return the car to her. She uses my money, and I use her car. And afterwards, she returns, and I return. Is that okay? This transaction is called Al-Wafa. Okay? Not okay. Yes, correct. It's not okay. Although there are some scholars who legalize it, but if you look at it, it is nothing but a loan contract that generates benefit. So that car with me is just a rahn. The car with me is rahn. It's like I lent her money, and she gave me the car to keep it for security, and I am benefiting from the car. So I'm taking riba. Whatever we're doing is a riba contract. So this is the Al-Wafa. Please do take note on that. You might see some scholars who make it halal, but it is nothing but a rahn contract, where the pledgee is benefiting from the property. Uzair, you don't understand the whole thing? Okay, I will do the example again. I go to the intern. She has a car. Okay, I bought the car, 50,000 ringgit. I bought her car, 50,000 ringgit. From now, you get it right. I bought the car from intern, 50,000 ringgit. Okay, and then we have an agreement between me and her. We signed an agreement, and this agreement says, okay, Ibrahim buys the car from intern, and he pays her 50,000 ringgit, and I really paid that amount. So she took the amount. You get the idea? But then we have an agreement between me and her that after 1 year, Uzair, she is going to return the money back to me. That 50,000 I gave her to take the car, I took the car and she took the money. But after 1 year, she will return the money to me. That 50,000 will be returned to me. Do you get the idea? And when she returns the money to me, I have to return the car to her. I have to return the car to her. Is that clear now? Yeah, so I have to return the car to her. So the scholar said, majority of the scholars said this contract is haram, because in reality, what happened between me and the intern is that she borrowed money from me. That 50,000 is like money she borrowed from me. Do you get the idea? And the car that I took from her is like rahan. Rahan means she gave me her property because I don't trust her whether she'll bring the money back or not. So I took the car from her. You get the idea? I took the car from her, and now she's returning the money to me, and I'm returning the car to her. But I did benefit from that car. That what makes it riba. Because rahan, we just say in rahan contract, you are not allowed to benefit from the rahan, the collateral. Whatever is given to you, you have to keep it as a trust, as a amana. You don't benefit from it. If you benefit from it, you are taking riba, because it's just like a loan contract that generates benefits. So that would be the best place, inshallah, to stop. If you have any question, if not, then we close the session. I was thinking of closing the class 30 minutes ago, but unfortunately, I enjoy continuing. Anyway, if you have any question, please do come up with it. If not, then let's close the class. Today, I thought you might not come to the class because of the TSP, but then when I checked the schedule, I found that in the morning they don't have any session. And I said, why do we cancel the class now? Since there is nothing to be attended in the morning. So that's why I came. But my session is going to be at 3, I guess. So I'll give some questions, and if not nothing, then I will go and get back to you.
Assalamualaikum, Dr. Ibrahim. So far, there's no question in YouTube.
آمين وفيكم.
Okay, there's one question from Sister Aznurita. The term management authority or capacity, does it mean the shareholders, directors, or the management team in typical corporate structure?
The management team, the one who is managing the business, directly managing the business. Supervisors doing the thing by themselves, or they're monitoring what is going on. The management team, the one who does the management directly. The shareholders might not be the managers. They just bought the shares. They are partners to the companies, but they don't do the management. That's why we can have somebody out of the participants to be the manager of the company, and we pay them the salary for that. like what happens in many companies. You have the management of the company, the workers, these are part of the management company. And you have the people who are supervising them to make sure that things are done properly. Allahu Alam. Yeah, in all the contracts, in all the partnership, we can have a kufar to do it, because you can put restriction in it. You can say no haram, no haram. But when you go for mufawada means you are giving them the authority to do it. I mean, to do it in their own way. And in this case, it has to be Muslim. But other than that, you can tell them no haram. When they bring haram, you tell them no haram. Or at the first, you can tell them, I will do the management. You participate, but I will manage the business. And I will be the one who will suggest the product, not any other person. Okay, if there's no question, then we say Assalamu alaikum, inshallah.
Yeah, there's no question. Okay, there's one. Sorry, Sister Aini. Assalamualaikum, Doctor. Is it allowed for the company to let their workers to buy the company's car bought with loan by working for them for a certain period of time?
Yeah, they would deduct the from their salary the payment, right?
I suppose so. It doesn't mention.
Yeah, if this is the case, then it's okay. Yeah, they can buy the car from the same company and they deduct the price from their salary. That one is okay, inshallah.
Jazakallah khair. I guess that's the last question on YouTube.
Okay.
So, inshallah, we'll continue next week for the last session with Dr. Ibrahim. Jazakallah khairan kathira.
Okay, Jazakumullah khairan. May Allah reward you and put barakah in your life and grant you good and make you happy in both dunya and akhirah. له بكل جميل كفيل. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.